Lord have mercy. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. Listen, you guys, it is Sunday. It is the Lord's Day. Sunday, I am so glad that trouble don't last always, but I'm so glad that God allowed me to see another day. So let me tell y'all about my day. So sit on down. So today I got up. I got up, talked with my granny, started to do the live for another show. We're gonna schedule that tonight. So after this live, we're gonna be right back live because we got some more things to talk about. But I want to say this, and I say this humbly. Oh God, I say this humbly. Okay, just left church. I was shouting, crying, tearing up. I haven't been in church. This is my second time. It's been 6 years since I've been in a physical church, right? And I was so emotional when I was there because Apostle Kevin Cunningham, was preaching, and I was just tearing up. I miss the community of being in the church. I miss the saints, and I was hurt because I know I hurt a lot of people. When I dragged a lot of people in the church, in these churches, I said a lot of things I shouldn't have said. So I'm sitting down. So I sat in the back. You coming back, you ain't been to church, you sit in the back. So I sat in the back and told the Pastor Cunningham is preaching. And he's preaching about the power of prayer and about how God hears the prayers of the righteous man and how you're suffering, that you can suffer. And the more you suffer, it brings you closer to God, and you have to have a good, strong prayer life, because people of God do suffer. It's in the scripture. So he was preaching and teaching, and I was on my feet, and I caught myself tearing up. I was tearing up. And then it gets to the part of the service where he bring people up, he pray on, they put a prayer cloth over you. So he said, Brother Wiley, how you doing? God bless you, Brother Wiley. I was shocked because, I'm very controversial. I started a lot of mess out here in these Facebook streets. I mean, a lot of mess, very controversial. And they know my uncle, they know my family, they know us, you know what I'm saying? We all church people. So he prayed and he said, I bind the spirit of death or premature death. And he said he bind that spirit. And so I'm listening to Pastor Cunningham. And then I was there and I'm getting ready to leave because I've got my Uber. I'm ready to leave. Then he said, Brother Wiley, come on in the front. He looked at me dead in my eye, and I was turned away. I was nervous. Not really nervous, but it's been a long time since I looked somebody dead in the eye. I'm turned to that. And I looked at him, and he said, do you have a church home? I said, no, I don't have a church home. He said, I want this to be your church. So I want you to come to church every Sunday. I want you to come to church every Sunday. I want you to come to church. And I said, okay. Just confirmation. I always wanted him to be my pastor. And he said, let go of what is the word that he said? Not bitter. When you're trying to get somebody back. Oh, I forgot the word, but he said, let it go. Be careful what you say about the people of God, even if they done you wrong. If you feel like they done you wrong, be careful of what you say about the people of God. And he said, let it go. And I just caught myself speaking in tongues. He was praying over me. He said, all you know is church. Revenge. Yes. Like revenge and all that, like that gets you back. And I had it in my heart. Like, I was just ready to just go back and just drag him in a book. And so now when I revisit my book, it's going to come from a place of love, a teachable book for people don't make the same mistakes that I made of church hurt, because I was hurt. And I was hurt and mentally ill. I have to say that part. And I just went and said some derogatory things that I regret. When you angry, the enemy can work in anger. I mean, when you angry, you at your most vulnerable place. I mean, that enemy could just give you, they said this about you, Wiley, and see how they did you, and blah, blah. And I just went in. And also that mental illness piece. And I think that the church period, have to get serious about mental illness. And that's why I said, Lord, let me get my prayer life together, because that's something that I don't really hear a lot. I hear we talk about the devil and Satan and all of these things, but we have to talk about mental illness. People are suffering from depression. People are suffering from bipolar. People are suffering from schizophrenic. People are suffering for a lot of things. And it really, really hurt me. I'm letting it go now. Now, mind you, I'm human. Yes, I was hurt. I wanted that get you back. Let me say this. I wanted that get you back so bad. Like that get you back. I gotta get them back. They did me wrong. They did me wrong. Oh no. And that ain't the case. You got to be careful of the things that you say. And I was so glad that he prayed over me and prophesied and said these things to let things go, let the revenge go, let all this strife, let it go and everything. And I'm getting there. I catch myself. I'm not as angry as I was. Like, I was very angry. I was extremely upset and I wasn't well. And I have to keep stressing that point because I wasn't in my right mind. My mind was gone. I was not the Marquise Wiley that people knew. I was a church kid, but something happened. I maybe when I talk to a therapist, she can explain, or he or she can explain it, but I just snapped. I snapped and I was cussing everybody out, and I streamed it on Facebook. I mean, everybody's seen it. I mean, everybody's seen it. If you was following me on Facebook in Chicago, you seen it. And as I look back, oh, I regret those things. I regret cussing my uncle out, Bishop Cartwright. I regret cussing out my auntie. I didn't never cuss my auntie. I'm sorry. I just regret doing it. All the churchmen, I regret it. But I want them to hear me that I was not in my right mind. And I'm teaching others that have church hurt. Don't let a certain person in the church stop you from serving God. You know what I'm saying? And if you have to find another church home, then find another church home. I had to go through that. It pained me what I did. And when I have conversations, when my name been brought up, they don't want to see me. But I thank God for my immediate family that God worked it out while I'm back in their good graces and we're good. But church hurt is real. I don't think people ever understand the depth of church hurt. And I get what Bishop Jakes was saying, church hurt. What about strip club hurt? You still go to the strip club. I've never been to the strip club. But I think where a lot of preachers have to understand, and I can't speak for preachers. I'm just giving my perspective for a person that experienced church hurt. That when you think of church, you think of help. You think of stability. You think of healing. You think of Jesus. Jesus never hurt nobody to the point where they had church hurt. I don't think. Now, if it's a scripture, then let me know. But I experienced it. But for the people that is experiencing church hurt, don't you go out hurting people. And that's what I did. I had church hurt. I experienced the church hurt. It was tied in with family and mental illness. And I'm going to always share my story because I want people to hear that. Wiley went, yeah, it's called, I was diagnosed with bipolar. And I can give you the history on that. And the history of different people in my family, the bloodline of my family. I had to tell a family member today, I said, do you know that our great-great-grandfather committed suicide? Did you know that? She didn't know that. So when things come up, you got to know the history. That's why before you marry somebody, know the history of that person's family. Know what they're going through. Go through a check. Is they good mentally? Because you may be married a man that suffering from PTSD or anxiety. You as the wife or future wife should know that. That ain't nothing you keep a secret now. When you get close to marriage, you got to start sharing some things. Don't wait till the next day, then, oh, you got anxiety and you having these rants and you ain't tell me nothing about it. Like, you communicate that. And so that's why I'm so glad for YouTube, because you get a lot of things what I've went through on the YouTube, and pretty much you'll get an idea of me. So church hurt was there. I experienced it. Oh, it was painful. It drove me crazy. Yes, it did. It drove me crazy. I mean, the enemy was able to do backflips in my mind. And it was none but God that gave me my mind back. He had to give it back because it was gone. I mean, the devil played tricks. He was playing tricks on my mind. Changed. I was a totally different person, because when the enemy come in, you're gonna pick up his traits. You're gonna be cussing. You're gonna be belligerent. You're gonna backbite. You're gonna do whatever, because you are your father, the devil. You're gonna do with your father. You're gonna pick up his traits. And I picked up those traits. And I thank God today that I was able to go to church, that I'm in a church that I feel love. And when I walked into the Transformation Center of Chicago, the lady said, "Oh, wow, you're back again." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And the brother, Pastor Cunningham, came to me. He shook my hand. He said, "Good morning, King." Or, "Good afternoon, King." And I appreciate that. And I don't want to tear up or cry, but I appreciate that, because I've been hurt by people in the church. Not by God, by people. And I was hurt. And it drove me to a dark place, to the point I had to leave a state. I had to leave Illinois, Chicago, and go to Dallas. That's how bad it was. You know it's bad when you got to leave. All you know is Chicago, and you got to go to a southern state, Texas. I never would have thought that. I never would have thought that I would have to transition from Chicago, Illinois, a place that I call home, place I was birthed, and moved to a totally different place. But I thank God, because that moved made me a different person. I was able to get the medicine that I needed. I was able to get the proper diagnosis. I was able to get help. I was able to be by myself. I was able to work on myself. And so now I come back, I'm at a totally different Brother Wiley. And I understand Pastor Cunningham have to be cautious because of what I've done. And that have to build that. And he said, don't take what I said and pretty much what I took for him, don't get offended, and everything. And I didn't, because what he said was confirmation. I've yearned church. I miss church. And I watch a lot of Pastor Cunningham's videos, like his Transformation Center videos. I've watched a lot of their sermons. I watched a lot of him and his wife. And it's making me a better person. It's making me a better person. But I was wrong. And so when I talk about church hurt, I hurt other people, because that spirit of church hurt, I started hurting people. I started thinking of stuff I should have never shared. Absolutely, yes. I should have never shared it. I should have never spoke about these. I should have left it alone, prayed about it. But when you ain't in your right mind, you can't pray. People that sane know how to pray. But when your mind is gone, you don't know nothing about prayer. That's just like telling a person that got dementia to pray. They don't know how to do that. Their mind gone. Their mind is compromised. Until they get their mind back, then they can pray. But you can't pray if your mind gone. What you praying about? Your mind is gone. It's compromised. It was completely gone. It was not there. I was totally a different person, a different spirit. And so when I went on that Facebook, I don't have those videos, but if them videos ever come back when I run for office, or if I ever run for office, you will see a person, demonic spirit of a man that have lost his mind. And I was in my 20s. I was in my, if that happened in 2016, I was 25 years. I didn't turn 26 until November. This had to happen around the fall and the summertime. I have to look at the court documents to get an understanding, but I believe I'm going to say 25, 26 years old. So I was in my mid 20s having a crisis. And thank God, God didn't end my life there. Because you got to understand, the police don't know how to handle people with mental illness. They take people out. And God literally spared my life. And he spared it before Dallas. He spared my life a couple of times. That was because of grace and because of God. And I've always yearned church. That's why I always talk about church on my YouTube channel, because it's in me. This ain't nothing that I'm playing. This is my life. You can't tell a person all they know is military. They grew up in the military, and you mad they always talking about the military. That's their existence. It's like breathing. Talking about church is like me eating a sandwich. It's just come naturally talking about church. I had some conflictions about church, about ideas and different things. And that comes with having an understanding. And I think with Pastor Cunningham, I think I can open up to him more and have a conversation. And I'm more willing to listen, to be under subjection of a leader, because I think that when you get a pastor, your pastor is your leader and you have to obey your leader. You can't be disobedient. And so that pastor, he said, hey, I want you to, and he brought me in front of the church. And he said, I want you to be a member of this church. He asked me, he said, are you attend a church? I said, no. I haven't attended no church. Transformation Center is the church that I've attended. I haven't attended like literally no church. I haven't attended like literally no church, like been a member and never had any church clothes. For this particular church, I went to the store, got church clothes. I send my offering, right? Whatever I can give, I give. And I gave them and gave them my time. And I love the service. It was such a beautiful service. I mean, his wife is just amazing preacher, right? At one point, I didn't believe in women preachers. I'm starting to believe in them now, because I love her message. She got me up, you know. Um, I love that. I love that, because Pastor Cunningham in his personal life, he's a teacher by trade, and he taught me a lot about the scripture, opening my mind about the scripture, about prayer, and how important prayer is. So I'm definitely going to work on my prayer life. And I appreciate that. Definitely going to work on my prayer life and have that testimony. This is why on my show, we have these introductions because I got to get it out. I don't have no therapy. That costs money to get a therapist, right? So this is part of my therapy where I sit and talk about my day. And we're going to talk about my day, right? This ain't no clickbait because we're going to be talking about Jaguar Wright in a second. But I have to get this off my chest and share it with y'all, because this is something that you can share with your therapist, but y'all ain't got that, the type of income yet, and then in my reserves yet. And one day it will be done. And so I just shared on my YouTube channel and share my experience, because I know as a sister and brother that's battling with church hurt. And my advice to you is to just pray about it, but don't turn into the people that you were hurt by and you turn into those people. Don't do it. Just pray about it. Let it go. I had to let it go. I mean, it was painful. I mean, I really did not understand. I was hurt, and it turned into anger. Then it turned into revenge. So it turned into me plotting. Because that enemy he can work with it, turned into me plotting. Like, I really had to understand and really get that. I said, I'm really going through it. And I said, Lord, thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. And when he laid hands on me, and when I started to speak in tongues, it's like I never, like God said, welcome back. Like the prodigal son when he left and came back. That's what it felt like. And I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to being a member of the Transformation Center of Chicago, Apostle Kevin Cunningham. I'm looking forward to it. Because I joined that church before and I left because I was so indoctrinated with family. That's my family church. This is my uncle, my auntie, my granny. I was convicted. Like, if I join another church, how would that look? You gotta, you know what I'm saying? But now God literally pushed me out of one situation and said, this is the church I want you to join. Because like I said, I was in Texas for 6 years. I mean, it's plenty churches in Texas and Dallas. Didn't join not one of them. Never even visit not one of those churches. And I always say, I'm going to get some church clothes. Never got it. Came to Chicago, got the church clothes. And they call it dress clothes, right? Got the clothes, got it in my grandmother's closet, and I went to church. And I was able to have a conversation with my grandmother about church. She said, I had an amazing time. I was talking about the service. And I love that because it reminded me when my grandmother brought me to church. Of course, their services are shorter. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in there all day. I could still, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the pluses. I love it. And so anytime that I can give to the Transformation Center, I always give whatever I can. I wish I can give more because the service was right on. I really was able to get spiritual awakening because I want a spiritual home. And I understand people say you don't need a church and all of that. That's your idea. That's you. I can't talk for you. But for me, I need a spiritual home. I need a pastor. I need a first lady. I need leaders and deacons and saints of God, praising God. Because even when I watch it on video, there's nothing like it in person. I'm going to say it again. Even though I can watch them on video, on Facebook, on YouTube, there is nothing like in person church at the Transformation. I mean, it is powerful. And they have outgrown the space that they're at. They need a bigger space. And when I joined, and when it was on Cottage Grove, when I joined, it wasn't so many members. Now they have outgrown that space. And I'm glad I'm at a good point where I can be a help of Pastor Cunningham and First Lady Deidre Cunningham, to be a blessing to them. And I'm so glad that I have a platform where I can talk about my experience because I know there is young brothers and sisters and older people that are going through with church hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I understand it and I get it. And I feel good that I can go to church without being I feel like, okay, I'm under attack where I'm being pointed out and everything. Even though he brought me in front of the church, it was done with tasteful wisdom. And it wasn't to the point that you're bashing me and making me your punching bag. And I didn't feel that from Pastor Cunningham. He handled it with such grace. And I'm honored that he did because I needed to hear that. And I'm so glad that he welcomed me in his church and everything like that. I'm so glad. And my mother told me, you need to stay at Pastor Cunningham Church. I didn't want to listen. That's why it's good to listen to your mama because mama, you know, when they come with that wisdom, she said, I think you need to stay there. Didn't want to say that. I went right back to that place and I don't know what made me go back. I think it was because that's all I knew. Maybe it's because I like abuse. I didn't know it. You know, I don't know. That's where I would speak to my therapist about and get a clear understanding of what made me go back. You know, and everything because once it went back, it gotten worse. And I'm so glad. So now when I revisit my book, I could kind of like, because baby, this book that I'm putting out now, it was a lot. So I can revisit it and use more wisdom, still share my story, but I don't have to be nasty and vulgar the way I wanted to be nasty and vulgar about some people, those main characters in the book. So now when I revisit the book, I can revisit it with love and patience and kind and with a good spirit. But before, it was all about letting them have it in print. So, you know, that's why it didn't come out. Because it wasn't in the right spirit. It wasn't in the right spirit, you guys. So now I can revisit it in a better place. Now, I have to open up with that intro. Let's get into this topic here. And this going to make a lot of people mad and upset, but we don't care nothing about that with people getting upset and mad at me. But I have to definitely talk about it. Gupta and Jaguar Wright. First and foremost, these two human beings. Order in the court. Where's my thing at? I got to use my water. These two people, now Gupta is saying that he is going to file for divorce of Jaguar Wright. And I got a couple of notes here, but I want to give you a history on these two. Jaguar is a singer, very talented. She was in Neo Soul, as they called it. And Gupta was in the military, whatever the man name, Gupta, Goopa, whatever the man name is. I'm going to say Jaguar Wright husband. And his mind is not there. And neither is Jaguar Wright's mind is there. And so these are the notes that my team came up with me, and they wanted me to hear this. And I want to read it to you all with Gupta, Jaguar Wright husband. And I want to read this. Give me a second. I have my notes here. Let me make sure I grab it because I took notes. I took notes. Okay. And she was talking about smoking weed, that Gupta, her husband, smoking weed. They're getting a divorce. He smoked fentanyl. And that he's holding a campaign, he's holding her social media hostage. And that Jaguar is saying that he's running a troll farm. And they said all these people is after her. Jaguar is claiming her husband is stealing her money. Jaguar also says she met a man at the car wash and they going out on a date. And people were saying, well, ain't that cheating? You know, ain't that cheating? And Bandit, he said, no, I met a man at the car wash. That woman is out of her mind. Jaguar Wright, Jacqueline Wright, she not in her right mind. So whatever she say on these channels where people are desperate for a click and a view, the woman ain't in her right mind. And her husband, he ain't in his right mind. Now, bro, I'm going to talk to you as a brother because you got a little bit more sense than Jaguar. A little bit more sense. You was all lovey-dovey when she was dragging celebrities, when she was dragging Erykah Badu, when she was dragging Jay-Z, when she was dragging the other girl that's out there that performed, y'all know her, Jill Scott, when she was dragging Whitney Houston and not Whitney Houston, old manager Clyde Davis and all these people. You had nothing to say. But now that spirit of rumors and allegations have transformed itself to you, and she said you're a drug addict and that you touch children and that your family is this, and talking about your mother, and now have transitioned because the woman ain't well. And maybe you didn't take heed of warnings. From my understanding, people warned you about Jaguar. You didn't want to listen. Your family warned you. Even some of Jaguar family members warned you about her. Something wrong when you can never see the person's family. Something is wrong there. Why you can't never see your family? Why they don't never want you around? Something wrong with her mind. And then these people, they get these clicks and views off of her because, yeah, she brings the clicks and views. They ain't getting the millions, they getting the scraps. I'm gonna post that in the comments. They're not getting the millions, they're getting the scraps off of Jaguar. Because Jaguar get a little bit more sense on these other channels. And then she come to the gutter of YouTube, the section A of YouTube, and she get ratchet. She be just as she dressed up nice, and she don't be under no thumbnail. She be dressing up, and they get millions of views. But she come to the gutter and get real ratchet and get a woo. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what Jaguar. You know, she ain't right upstairs. Mentally, she's not there. She ain't taking her medicine. And these people, they think they say I'm a friend of Jag. Not one time have they said, Jag, have you taken your medicine? Now, one time did they say, Jag, they're taking the medicine. And Gupta is trying to get her committed. You can't get her committed. Your mind is compromised. Both of y'all need to be committed. I'm the judge. And if I was sitting there as the judge, both of y'all need to be in committed in Green Oaks Hospital, or go over there at Medical City of Dallas, or go over there and get committed. Because both of y'all minds is gone. And Jaguar at a place that she's playing with fire. And that's why her car went up in flames. And talking about she met a man at the car wash. She ain't met no man at no car wash. That's one of them voices in her head. She's paranoid. She ain't meet nobody at no car wash for no date. And if she did, run away from her. Don't pay her no mind. Keep it moving. She ain't got her mind. You better not date a person that's upstairs ain't going right. And so I say that I literally I say this with love. I say this with love. I get it that we all want a click and a view. I get it. I get it. We all want a click and a view. I get it. We all want to make it. But when it comes to somebody that's mentally compromised in their mind, you as a blogger should say, sister, I love you. I'm your friend. Instead of me getting a click and a view off of you, how about we get you in counseling? How about I encourage you to get to the hospital? Say, Jag, did you take your medicine? With love. You don't have to say it on camera. Because if that's your friend, you won't say it on camera. You will say it privately and say, Jag, did you take your medicine today? Is you okay? Are you hearing voices? Because clearly she is. Clearly, she's a danger to others and to herself and to the vehicles that she's in. One of the vehicles, they got to freedom. They no longer exist. She put it on fire. And then she keeps saying, people after her. Ain't nobody after you. You put it on fire. Your car is on fire. So right then and there, that's a sign that it ain't up there right. That's why her marriage is crumbling. You got two mentally unwell people together. It's gonna crumble. And one can't talk about the other because they both ain't really on their meds like that. And if they were good, they will make a lot of money. I was talking with a sister, we was on the phone. She said they could make a lot of money. I said, you know why they ain't making a lot of money off of this? Because both their minds is compromised. You can't know how to make money if your mind compromised. That's your main gateway to wealth, is to have a mind. If your mind gone, they can take anything that you accumulate. And then they're bringing in other people. This other woman that's claiming to be Aaliyah's daughter and R. Kelly's daughter. So at first, they brought in Solar. That didn't work. That was destroyed, a disaster. She started eating her ashes. Now she brought in another spirit. Now she leaving the husband. Now the husband want to leave her. They bringing out all these people in their house, and she already, her mindset is compromised. Yeah, it is. It's compromised. Yeah. And while you having a mindset like that, now you are, I can really, really break this down to y'all. You're going to continue to see a train wreck. It's on the rails and it's derailing. And it will be an end result to this. Until she take her medicine, then you will see a change of Jaguar. You will see a totally different person when she on her medicine for a while and she's medicated. But once she ain't on that med, she gonna keep getting worse and worse. And then the thing it is, Gupta, or whatever your name is, I will leave her immediately because she keeps saying that you got weapons, that you put it to her head, that you did this to her. I don't want to be with no woman every time she calling the popos on me, because it may be an officer that don't like black people, can't stand black people, and that's the day he go in on both of y'all. I don't want to be with a woman she playing with the police and recording it and cussing her. You think I'm going to be with a person like that? Because it only takes one bad officer that can take and have a bad day. They don't like us. I'm talking about black folks. And you playing with them, cussing them out. They show that. And then now we got to be doing a GoFundMe because you ain't got no insurance. Then you got your son out there crying and trying to do a GoFundMe. And then you got a person that's mentally unstable with a weapon. And it's entertaining. And the reason why I'm laughing, because I can laugh at this, because you know why I can laugh at this? Hold on. The reason why I'm sorry, y'all, this sun is beaming down, so y'all can't hardly see me, my bad. The reason why I'm laughing at this is because I know what the end result going to be. Because when I wasn't taking my meds, okay, I was lashing out on my family. Okay. Lashing out. Got kicked out. Moved to Dallas. Lashing out. I got, okay. Then went back to another breakdown. Went to the hospital. They released me.
Didn't give you no meds. They just put, because I had somebody to call and vouch for me. They released me because they were overcrowded. And then boom, came out hearing voices. And then eventually went to the library and went in and did what I did. Now just imagine if I would have just continued to stay off my meds after the library. I wouldn't be speaking to you today because I would have done something more treacherous, and I'm bigger and I'm a man. See, Jaguar, the reason why she's still breathing, because the police give her a pass, is because she's a black woman. I wouldn't be able to get that pass. I'm bigger than her. I'm more scarier than her. I'm 6'2", 300 plus pounds, and all of these type of things. So I can understand I won't get the pass that she getting. If I would have done all this type of stuff, I probably would not be here to tell the story. So I look at Jaguar Wright. I look at her husband. I weep for both of them with laughter because they both minds is compromised. And both of them don't know that if you really get help, you don't have to have your mind being under all these voices and all this weird stuff. And then they file it for divorce. That if they're really married. We never seen the marriage certificate. And we're looking for that marriage certificate. I don't know if Texas is a non-disclosure. I know in California, they don't have to. That's not public record. You can keep your your license private. So I'm gonna really do some legwork in Texas to see if they legally married. Or did they get married in Texas? I don't know. They could have got married in Arizona, or they could not be married. They could just be together. Because you really can't trust none they say out of their mouth. Because both of them look, gone. It's gone. And then when she was on the phone with her caseworker, the caseworker said, "Are you?" And then she started threatening the caseworker. And there wasn't her case crisis manager. She called the VA, and the crisis manager for the VA had to handle a crisis for a person that never served in the military. She couldn't see if the husband was okay because Jaguar, her mind was not great. So when I see this, I'm like, this is a mess. I look at all of this. This is a hot mess. And people getting clicks and views, which, okay, but they ain't asking tough questions. That's why they don't get millions, because they're not asking her the tough questions. They're just letting her rant because they're so desperate for a click, for the scraps. They're not getting the millions, they're getting the scraps. And one thing I honor and respect of a YouTuber that interviewed her back when she got 1 million on his platform, I respect that he kept his distance, because if he would have invited her in the home and they would have fell out, she would have put an R-word allegation out on him. So I'm glad that he used wisdom and said, "You're not gonna know my address," because she wanted to know the man's address. She would just show up, and then they fell out. She would have came up with so many allegations towards that brother when calling the cops against that brother. That's what she does. She called the cops on people with allegations, and she records herself. And that's why I tell people, download all them videos. She does this on her husband. And to the point of DeSoto or whatever part of Texas they in, they know who she is. They start hanging up the phone. They did that to me. I remember I kept calling the police, the Dallas police, 911. I call them a lot of times. I'm trying to get that 911 footage. And the phone calls, I kept calling them a lot that morning. They showed up to my house. It was a lot of them. They was ready to take me out, but God said, not him. And left the apartment. I was paranoid, jumped out of my roommate's car, thought the cars were slowing down. It looked like they were all looking at me. And I kept calling 911 again. And you know what they did? Hung up the phone. So I'm assuming when they found out about the library, they didn't take it serious. They waited for 45 minutes until they showed up. And they showed up to the library. They waited. I was able to go on a 45-minute rant. The news only showed you a snippet of a 45-minute rant that I did. And they've been calling the cops. They didn't show up until the window was busted, the bookshelf was knocked over, and I was butt naked with no clothes on. I could have lost my life. So every time I talk about Jaguar, I talk about my story. It doesn't surprise me what Jag is going through with her husband. It don't surprise me. And when I look at that situation, I just weep with laughter. I do. Because it's funny. Because they want clicks and views. What I got to be serious for? All you got to do is take your medicine. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to laugh at you. And then you're going on people's platforms that Armand don't even fool with no more. Armand kicked them to the curb. Armand is more honored with me. Kicked them to the curb. And they've been knowing Armand for years. They could have been further in their platform. But they never listened to Armand. They hard-headed. They wanted to do what Wiley does. You can't do what I do. See, I don't need a Jaguar Wright. I could just talk about her, talk about anything and get clicks and views because I'm not desperate for overnight success. I want this to have, I want to build a community. I want to build the audience organically. I'm not desperate. If she come on my platform and she don't, Jag got me blocked. Now, some in her mind, but she got me blocked because we speak the truth to that spirit. She got a spirit, a demonic spirit of cause. I named it. It's been named by the world. They call it schizophrenic. That's what she have. She names the illness. She names the medication. When she was at the TSA, she started to name the medication. And the police said, listen, we're going to arrest you so you can get your medicine. They should have did it. And so when she do something illegal, which she's going to do, it's just a matter of time. Because when you got a person that mind is going to just watch the train, it's going to derail and it's going to eventually crash. And I'm going to sit right there and I'm going to get the DMs. Wow, did you hear about Jaguar Wright? Wow, did you hear about Jaguar Wright? Did you hear about it? Did you hear about it? It's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of sympathy. Oh, I'm so sad. Why y'all didn't get that? And Jag ain't going to do nothing. She going to get divorced from this husband. She going to meet another weak man. She need a strong man that's going to encourage her to get help. She married a man that she can walk over. And that man that you see, the bald-headed man with the beard, she can walk over him. Yeah. She can walk over him easily to the point. And it's sad because the laws protect so many patients' rights. It's difficult to get somebody committed. You know how challenge that is to get somebody committed? It is a challenge to get somebody. You just can't go to the courts. You really have to prove with evidence, and you may still get denied because Jag is still a grown woman. Now, if she was a child, you have a little bit more rights to get them in the hospital. But as an adult, it is challenging to get somebody committed. Oh, that's a challenge. And you just can't say on YouTube that you want to do it. You actually got to go to the court proceeding. And he haven't shown no evidence of that. He haven't went to no court. He ain't in his right mind. Weapons and all that type of stuff he got. PTSD, military war stories that he got. Weak. And he got a dose of weakness. Pathetic. If they were strategic, they would go on divorce court. We already got the picture down here on divorce court. If they were smart, they would go on divorce court. Right there is divorce court, but they ain't in their right mind. They don't know how to go on Zeus. They won't be able to commit to that. They'll go against the owner of Zeus and say Zeus tried to do something to me. That's how the type of person, and she's a very dangerous person because don't nobody want to be around her because she makes up so many allegations around her. Everything out of her mouth, what they did to her. She never say what she did because when you always blame other people. I did the same thing. It was everybody else's fault. My mama's fault, my granny's fault, my uncle's fault, my former pastor's fault. It's everybody's fault. It's everybody's fault. I never said, oh yeah, it's my fault. That never came out of my mouth. It was everybody else but me. I ain't the problem, it's them. And then you say if she gonna say no. She gonna turn against you and call the police. And then the police may look at you as being the one that's mentally unstable. I remember I had Uncle Freddie. I love Uncle Freddie. May he rest in peace. Uncle Freddie was having one of his episodes. He's schizophrenic, right? Hear voices and very paranoid. Uncle Freddie was very paranoid. He was in the house. And we had to call the police. My granny called the police. We couldn't control it. He wasn't taking this. He was spit his medicine out. He was having episodes. So the police come. So he just saw, he really came at me and said, I was this, I'm in a gang, I'm part of this gang, and all that. So the police started looking at me. Now, mind you, this is the person that been diagnosed and all that type of stuff. And they were looking at me and looking at his brother, which is a pastor. He was saying all type of stuff that he did. And that man went in, because when you always go into a person, they can really give you a history lesson. And he went in, the police started looking, and then eventually he started turning against the police, and then that's when they arrested him and got him the help. And then my grandmother said, is y'all taking him to the hospital? He said, no, we taking him to 26 of California. That means, if you don't know what that is, that ain't California, the state. That's the jailhouse, the congressional. No, it's not the congressional. They call it the House of Corrections. That's the Cook County Jail. They took him to jail, right? They literally took that man to jail, and they didn't take him to the hospital because he started turning against them. And I look at my uncle, Uncle Freddie. He lived all of my life, and I was born November 11, 1990. He was in and out of a mental institution. When he died in a mental institution. That's how he died. He died in a mental institution. Like, that is so sad. And I can look at my Uncle Freddie's story. I said, I don't want that to be my story. All of my life, I'm in a mental institution, and then I die in a mental institution. So, wow. And that's what he did. And I don't want that story for Jag. I want her to be healthy. I want her to get the help. Like, she was talking to the 911, not the 911, she was talking to the crisis person. Said he talking about the band. She never had no concert set. Like, this woman, mine is gone. Talking, he keep calling my band. You ain't got no band, ma'am. You haven't performed in decades. When the last time you performed? When the last time y'all seen Jaguar Wright before? It's been a while. So hopefully that she gets the help that she needs. But that woman is crazy. And then you look at the Sean Davy way. He used her for content. He kind of tried to want to bag up off of her. Because she gone. Her mind gone. Then now she's latching on to whoever will latch on to it. Even people with the millions of views, it was a platform she went on. They declined to bring her back on the show. Because they're waking up to Jaguar Wright's antics. And where she goes to the gutter of YouTube. To people, all they do is talk about Storm being gay and everything. That's their content. They never address Armand Wiggins dumping them like a bad habit. They don't address that. And that will actually give them more views than Jaguar Wright, to be honest. They ain't addressing that, how they pick Nick at Night over Armand Wiggins. They ain't addressing that, but they'd rather address Jaguar. And the only reason why Jaguar over there is because Armand Wiggins ain't fooling with her. Because Armand Wiggins waked up to her because she started calling Armand Wiggins the F words and the S words, all of that on her show. I mean, when she was on Instagram, she said all of that on Instagram. Yeah. And that's how that goes. And then people will say, oh, how is he able to get weapons? Because Texas, in the law, I believe in the law, you can have a weapon in Texas. Is Renee in the chat? Somebody that live in Texas that understand, I believe they can give you a weapon. I don't believe they believe in background checks. I could be wrong. In Dallas, Texas, in the state of Texas, I don't even think you have to have a license to carry in Texas. I believe you can just go to the store. If you 18 and older, you can get your weapon. I believe that. I don't believe it's 21 and up. All right. So they said, how is he able to do it? In Texas, you can do it. If I want to go there and grab what, I can get it. If you got the money, they'll give it to you. Okay, you don't need it, so that's why you see that with Jag and her husband. And that's how that goes. And it's just sad. Eventually, he gonna turn on her. They're gonna have a bad argument. I see it coming. He gonna pull that out, and ain't gonna be no more Jag. Or she gonna pull it out on him. Because when you have a weapon with a person that is, whoo, that's a disaster waiting to happen. That's just like you leaving a child with matches and gasoline, right? That's a disaster waiting to happen. And this with Jag and her husband, it's a disaster waiting to happen. It's going to happen. It's getting close. And y'all gonna see it stream live. And then that's when YouTube gonna change some laws and change some policies, because she gonna do it. It's gonna be right over YouTube. It's gonna be over YouTube, because one thing about her, the enemy have instructed her to record everything. So you're gonna see, if she don't change, you're gonna see her demise live on camera. And then the media gonna pick it up, and then they're gonna apply pressure to YouTube, and then YouTube gonna tighten up on a lot of things. Just watch. She's gonna do it right on YouTube. Yeah. it's gonna happen. Eventually, it's gonna be live, and Gupta gonna pick it up. Poo pow, poo pow, pow, poo pow, pow. It's gonna happen live. Whoa, wow, wow, pow, wow, whoa, wow, ooh, ooh, ooh. Call up. Shit four, cheer four, right now, cheer four. Then the media, we're breaking live right outside the house of Jaguar Wright. You probably know her as a neo-soul artist that did a Coca-Cola commercial. We can report right now, her and her husband had an altercation, and they were arguing over something, the money or something that's claiming here, and it went, and he pulled out the weapon, and he took her out. We are just reporting out here live, and it went live over there on YouTube. They're gonna interview Congressman Wiley. Well, we definitely have to get YouTube. We definitely gonna have to bring them to the committee. This is not right. They have to control this. Why was she able to go live and stream all of this type of stuff? Then you got to see President Biden iffy up, because you know he's gonna be sleepy. So I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just telling you what it is. Her son got an issue and a problem. He ain't in his right mind. And the father, and I'm going to speak it because I can speak it. Y'all can sit there, y'all speaking private. I'm just putting out open. Her son, he ain't got his right mind. And he talking about he ain't got his right mind. And you got somebody with 3 people in the car without their right mind. And then the father let the son go because he don't want to pay attention in school, because he got on the phone with that mama, and that spirit of mama, of that schizophrenic, mixed in with that autism, and now he don't want to do right in school. He stopped doing good in school, and now he's with his mama when her mind is compromised. So he leave her in the house when she do travel, because she's too busy in DeSoto police department cussing out the police and all that type of stuff. That's gonna change, because she's gonna go to another police department that ain't gonna be so nice like DeSoto. She gonna go real into one of them hit towns in Texas, and they gonna let her have it. And they say, "Oh, wow, you should stop." I ain't mad at. She doing it already. You don't have to manifest. She doing it already. What the problem is? She doing it already. It's just like watching a movie. I just so happen to know the ending of her life. If she don't change, if she don't swallow that medicine and get the help that she needs, and y'all gonna be like, Wiley was right. Yeah. And y'all see what happened when she brought her husband to Sam's mama house. This is her son's grandma. I want him to meet his stepfather. I wanted to meet his stepfather. Said, Jan, what are you doing? And the son had to come out, Mom, I'm okay. I wanted to meet his stepfather. Don't you touch me. And she had to call the cops. This was all live. See, y'all don't want to know this, and y'all wouldn't know this. I want her to be his stepfather. Coming to our house acting crazy. And I speak to the police shame. Y'all got tasers with all that vultures. She can't get a tase. This is why we have to, Paul. This is why we have to file a police report. This is why we have to file a lawsuit to Texas, because I got tased. And then when she was in the car, thank you. When she was in the ambulance, look at this HD. I know where you live, Storm. Tasha, I'm going to send a video and I'm going to send it to Cardi B. She went on a rant on Tasha, on all these stuff. Now she turned against her husband. You hardly heard her husband talking, but that spirit leaped in her husband, and now they about to go toe to toe. And it's going to be live on camera. And I'm already subscribed to her IG on my troll account. I'm already subscribed to her IG. I'm just waiting on the update because she going to stream everything. I'm already subscribed like to her IG already. It's going to happen. And then she was talking about, are y'all nervous? Why? At one point she said she was pregnant. I'm pregnant. Are y'all nervous? Why are y'all nervous? Storm, if I lose this baby, I'm going to let you have it, Storm. I'm going to send the FOI, NOI, and I heard your neighbor, they said you're a really good guy. Yeah, she said she was pregnant. Thank God that wasn't true, because you know that baby's going to turn out. Woo-hoo. All right? She claimed that she was pregnant with child and that the pregnancy was going to get terminated. She did all of this on camera. This ain't nothing that I'm creating. This ain't nothing out of my neck. This is what she put in the HD camera. Yeah. And that's not a flex, because Jag was here before they went on these shows. They said, oh, we brought Jag. That's not true. Jag was on other shows. Is that people get tired of Jag, they stop posting her, so she settled for people on YouTube. And these people call themselves having daughters and stuff. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then they up there donate money for that woman that claimed that she a Leah daughter. Scam the people out the money. Then they got to, it ain't no good scammer. Y'all give it, but can't give it to Wiley. Go fund before I can travel this country and interview people. I'm trying to move that thing because it's so that light. Hold on, let me see if I can move it this way. Hold on, y'all. Like, I wanna take a DNA test because I want to take a DNA test. I'm Aaliyah's daughter. I'm R. Kelly. Come on now. And no DNA test was taken. You have to follow none of that. Just scammed y'all out of money to help bail out of jail. And she ain't gonna tell y'all is a legitimate just scamming people. Scammers. And then they had the audacity to put their lips on me. It was one brother that put his lips on me, and I reached out to him in an email. I said, sir, keep your lips off me, because you can't even have nothing to say about Armand Wiggins, sir. Keep your lips off me, sir. Brother Michael, you can't even say nothing against Armand when he dragged you. You weak. You weak. Armand dragged you for filth, dumped you like a bad habit. He dumped you like trash. He dumped you like a car that got repossessed and left you. He dumped you like Holly Berry dumped Isaiah and dumped him in the trash when she was on crack. Ain't no jail, and I want to mess with me. Dumped you. You had nothing to say out of your mouth. Dumped you. What did you say about Armand when he dumped you? That's more clicks and views because you got more history with him. He got you shook and scared. Dumped you like a bad habit. That's what y'all shouldn't be saying. Hey, what about when Armand dumped you? Are you going to address it? He dumped you like a bad habit. And then was the first one to speak against or Wiley GoFundMe. What you speaking against me? I don't put your name in the title, tagging me in there. It's a scam, and you got a woman that's scamming folks. Talking about she a Leah daughter and R. Kelly daughter, and y'all believe that crap. And guess what? People have been coming over to the Wiley Show. We got 3 students that joined the YouTube consultation on Wiley. For 30 days, we worked with them with their channel. 3 people. A lady just hit me up today and paid her money. So reason why I'm not angry, if you want to keep on giving me that free clout, because these people gonna come over. Wiley got something going well for himself. I was in church. She sent me the DM. I sent. She said ASAP. And when you say ASAP, that means as soon as possible. So I sent my Cash App. She sent it. And boom, that's another person that want to get ideas to help grow her YouTube channel. So, and we help these people. We on the phone. Then another person said, Wiley, I want to do another month to work with you for my YouTube channel. So the blessings are coming. So you think I'm worried about when people drags me on YouTube and dragging me in YouTube videos? Don't make me no difference because I'm still thriving and growing. And I'm going to continue to thrive and growing because I serve a good God, because my heart is pure. Yes. My heart is pure, and we do an amazing thing. We just covered Jaguar race, losing the mayor race, which was sad, and we endorsed Brandon for mayor, Brandon Johnson for mayor. We endorsed him, made a flyer, and we endorsed him about a couple of days ago. We publicly endorsed him, and we're going to be back in a couple of weeks for the April runoff. We're going to be in Brandon Johnson campaign. Excuse me, we're going to be at this event. We endorsed him and everything. We did that. I said I had to endorse him for mayor because I think the city needed. We doing that. No other use. The city ain't copying that. Yeah. I'm look dead in the camera. I could block out that something, keep my head right here. You see, they ain't copying it. They don't talk about politics. So you can copy all day. We're going to continue to do great things for our channel. And you're going to see more YouTubers do a GoFundMe. King of Reeds, we're going to be talking about him later on. But I can say this in a preview. King of Reeds made multiple GoFundMes because when he was getting evicted, he had asked his audience for money, and they gave. So I'm asking mine for money to help, the show, to take this show on the road. I'm doing it early. So when the election get here, we have it already in the accounts and those reserves. And already the comments in the chat, I understand that because the customer is always right. I understand it, and I get that because the customer is always right. And one customer said to me on the Wiley show, Wiley doing this to get a down payment on the house. No, I'm not doing it to get no down payment on the house. If I needed the money for a down payment on the house, I'd say that. Yeah, why would I say that we doing this for travel and I need it for a down payment of a house? If I need it for a down payment of a house, guess what? Brother Wiley would say that. I'll be the main person to say, hey, I need a down payment of the house. But I wanted the money to travel the country. Absolutely. To travel this country to do interviews. And I'm not going to do interview for anybody, So that's what we're doing. Is I'm homeless? No, I'm not homeless. But if you think I'm homeless, you want to give. You know what I'm saying? Brother Michael said he homeless. I'm not homeless. I never said I was homeless. Where you get that? Just because I'm doing a video in the car? I did videos in the house. The reason I'm not in the house now because the kids make a lot of noise. And I know how y'all operate. It's too much noise in this background. So I said, Mom, give me the keys to your car. And I go live in the car. I'm not sleeping in my car. If I was sleeping in my car, I'd do some content and I will tell y'all to give. But I'm not homeless. Thank God I'm not homeless. There is truly homeless people that exist. I'm not one of them. I got a place to lay my head in Chicago. I got a place to lay my head in Dallas. I'm not homeless. My rent is paid. When I check my balance, I actually paid them more. Then I'm out because I thought I paid them less. I paid them more. Checked it. They said, Mr. Wiley, you paid us too much. So I'm not homeless. No. And if I was, y'all be the first to know. Okay? And I've been saying I'm in Chicago with my family. I can go right up in there now. Uncle, this. Can I get some chips? Can I get this? As soon as I come on, he's scary. And y'all believe that crap. And that's how I say give. That's I can give. And some of y'all are giving. Some of y'all gave in the Cash App. Like I said, 3 people hit up the YouTube consultation, and we put in all of that money in the reserves. So when we do need to go somewhere, we have it. So my goal is $6,000. So we can go in there and hire your camera person so we can do great interviews and stuff like that. And so, yes, that's what we're doing. So we thank y'all so very much. I was going to bring people on here, but I didn't drop the link. Oh, wow. Bless his holy name. They said, bless your soul for finding a quiet place to talk to us. Yes. 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 Thank you, Barbie. Yes. Thank you so very much. I love you. You can't do that for that $5 super chat. Yes. 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 I had to find a quiet place. When you got kids, you got to find a quiet place. So now I'm understanding when people have kids in the background. I understand that now because I was in a position on my niece and nephews, and they don't understand a show. Like my nephew's still looking at me out the window because he want to go outside and play, but I have to do my show because money comes first, right? I love you, but I have to do my show first, and then we can go out and play. Still, when I came in, he was looking at me in the door. They said a business is a plant your roots and buy a house and travel and grow a future. Absolutely. Yeah. The clean is it the cleanup crew? Thank you for another $5 super sticker. And that goes right into our reserves. I appreciate that because that goes to our reserves. So it doesn't bother when people diss us and talk about us. That's what they do. They talked about Jesus. You got to be focused on the prize. And my core audience, they know. Like we raised, I think $300. Is it 300? It could be different. Moderators, make sure y'all post to GoFundMe. They did 300, and of course they took out their fees, and we put it in an account I don't even touch. Just a brand new account that is just for my travel expenses if I need to travel, and it's nowhere near like where we at. Let me check it. Where we at the reserves that we have in the reserves where people giving on Cash Apps and people giving on there. I'm gonna give you the amount. That people are given in what we have in our reserves. Give me 1 second and I will post it. True Heart gave a $10 day. Yes. True Heart. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find. Hold on, y'all. All right. I'm going to tell y'all the reserves. All right. So right now in the reserves, we have $470.07 in the reserves. 470, because that's including like all that. So $470 in the reserve. We need that number at 6,000 because it takes money to travel, and I really want to take this show to the next level. And that's why I'm honored when I see Tasha I love her platform because she interviewed people and it makes her platform different, and you get more views once you're sitting with them. And I think a lot of times people open up with her because she sit with them, even though she's not getting A-list people, but she's getting some people. She's getting the baby mama, the daddy, the cousin and all that. And that's where we do all that stuff like that. So I love that. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're talking and we explaining it about it. And thus we're doing it for the reserve. So we appreciate that. And we will continue to do this for our show. I love politics. I love it. I'm very passionate. Oh, Miss Mama said, I am
Is it Momo? Is it Miss Mama or Momo Teaches? Said, I am rooting for you. Look at God. Look at God. Okay, because she donated that. Yes, she did. She said at $9.99. Oh, woo, woo. That's what I'm talking about. And people give. Your core audience is going to give. We ain't worried about these Brother Michael and all of them. We can't even sell his hair products. His hair products ain't selling. So worry about that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you give Jaguar Wright that she could get out that fro that she got. Can't even sell your hair products. You can't even sell your hair products. So you can go ahead on with that. And we doing amazing things over here in the Wiley Show. All right. So we're going to be right back, or we're going to be covering some other stuff. So y'all stay right here. I'm about to send a text out. We about to go right back live because we got some more topics to talk about. Let me see. I'm going to send a text out. We got another live to do. So refresh it. Oh, more money coming in. MIKO Love One sent a $20 super sticker. Look at God. And we also have the GoFundMe. So if y'all want to contribute to that as well, we have that as well. And look at God. Y'all are contributing. Do y'all have the GoFundMe set up in here? Make sure y'all get that. I'm gonna send that in there as well. Oh wow, Stephanie, laughter is a medicine to the soul. You are one of a kind. I'm rooting for you, Miss Momo. And also someone said True Heart sending it. That's what we talking about. Okay. Yeah, because she ain't know when she used juices and berries. Yeah, I love that. Using juices and berries. I love that. I love the fact, and we're going to continue to give. And this is why we're mad, because we're building a community, and I love the fact that you all are giving to the show. I love the fact that and we also have the GoFundMe as well. We traveling, like I said, we will be back in about a week or two, because the runoff election is, because we did send where we let me see if I have that picture here. Give me a second, you guys. Under Brandon, let me go to there, and we have more. So we have like more super chats. So I want to get that as well. Give me a second, because I'm looking on my phone. Laughter working as a medicine. M.I.K. Michael Love One. Yeah. So thank you so very much for the super chats, because we endorse candidate for mayor Brandon John April runoff. The Wiley Show endorses candidate for Chicago mayor. We endorse him for mayor. So we're doing things right now. We got to go to his campaign event, and thank God I don't have to pay for a hotel. So we're going to be covering that or in April. So we're going to be covering that in April. So we'll be definitely there in April. Thank y'all so much for the Cash App, super chats, and all type of stuff. Thank y'all for that, for the love. And also thank you everybody in the GoFundMe account as well, because y'all have been doing it, and all of that goes in the reserve. Of course, we will know how much we will, because we will put part of the YouTube into the reserves as well. So we will match that in the reserves as well. So that's what we are doing as well. Also, I want to give a special shout out to one of my students. She released a new video. It's called Bel Air Season 2, Episode 1 video she released. So make sure y'all go check that out. She just released that. I post that in the GoFundMe. I'm sorry, I post that on the community wall. So I will post that as well. She's called The Thoughtful Thought. The Thoughtful Thought. I need 3 people to type that in the chat. The Thoughtful Thought. She did her review. And it is called she did it on a Bel Air Season 2, Episode 1. And her name is called The Thoughtful Thought. And I'm going to post that as well. So you all can see that as well. So, it's called The Thoughtful Thought. Yes. Yes, The Thoughtful Thought is her name. Thank you. They said laughter is medicine. Thank you. I'm seeing all the super chats come in. Thank you so very much. And I want to post that in there. Okay, The Thoughtful Thought. She's a huge supporter of the show, and she did a review of Bel Air. The sister got me encouraged. The Thoughtful Thought. Make sure y'all go check her out. She got me encouraged of doing Bel Air because I told her, I said, do it. And shout out to people have already commented on there. And a lot of people didn't even know she had a channel. So go over there, and I'm going to drop the link over there as well, because this is part of our YouTube consultation where we will share you on our show. And that is The Thoughtful Thought is her channel name. So we will share that as well. Okay. All right. So don't go nowhere. We're going to be right back with another video. It's going to be juicy. Oh, let me take Brandon Johnson down. Hold on. We're going to be right back. I'm going to post that comment in there. We got another video that we about to do. So let me get it. Give me a second. All right. And that's going to be something. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to post that in there. I'm going to post the video because we coming right back. That we being like, we pushing it out today. So that live that I dropped, that's going to be the one that we do. That live that I dropped. I pinned it. Okay, y'all. We're going to be right back. I'm about to go take, we'll be right back, y'all. And that is going to happen in about 1, 2, just give me 2 minutes. We're coming right back, and we're going to be getting into Ricky Smiley, King of Reeds, and all that stuff. So we'll be right back. All right. Thank y'all so very much. Yeah, we're going to do the other video. We're going to do the other video. We're going to talk about Ricky Smiley, King of Reeds, and other subject. Yes. Drop it. Hold on. Let me make sure I drop it so they know. We're going right back. We're going to talk about King of Reeds. Is he still alive? I'm going to raise this window up. It's getting kind of chilly. Can you pass me a bottle of water, please? Pass me a bottle of water. Thank you so much. Get a bottle of water. Okay. All right, I have to drink some water. All right, y'all. We're going to be right back.